Oh, there we go. We're live. Hello, chat. How's it going? I'm streaming at the more interesting hour, the European time zone, because messed up my sleeping schedule again. I hope I will fix it by Thursday. I think like Thursday is the first day of D&D. It's gonna be fun. So let me just see if I can bring up chat. We'll take a little bit. Take a little bit because YouTube is running on a hamster wheel today. All right, here we go. I found the chat. Oh my god. Yeah. So the whole thing that like okay, what I don't understand is how much can Americans put up with stuff like here in Romania. The moment a politician screws up, there are punishments. Like for instance, even smaller politicians, like the mayor. So the mayor in my town, it's more like it's a town actually. It's not a village. Somewhere in between. Like you could say that I live in a town that's small enough, so large enough not to be a village, but small enough to be barely considered a town. And the mayor messed up with the sewage. Like he was supposed to take money from the European Union and expand the sewage network for some new construction that was coming up. He didn't. He's not getting re-elected, chat. Like, there are consequences in Romania for politicians that screw up. And the conversation is rarely about issues like, oh, LGBT, racism. No, it's economical in nature. Now, of course, rarely taxation gets brought up. But it's stuff like, okay, so you're the mayor of the town. How's the sewage? Like, there's too many dogs. What have you done in order to remove some of the dogs that are stray? Like, that's the conversations that we're having here. But I'm looking at the United States, and you have, like, the governor of San Francisco, and he literally shows the people. He just does a public display, like, yeah, we can clean up the city. Like, yeah, sure, it's possible. Like, there's no issue. And worse off, he comes out in a press release and says that, oh, we didn't even spend extra money for cleaning it up. And it's like, if I was to live there, I would be like, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. So you're saying that you can clean up the town at any point you want, but you allow it to be filled with human feces, fecal matter, with drug addicts and stuff? Like, you can clean that up. Like, in a day, actually. You can clean it up. It's ridiculous. I don't know what to say. It's just like bizarre. The fact that people, like we clean it up for visitors, and not only that, the fact that he says, like visitors are important. I mean, they're world leaders, duh. I'm like, but don't the people that literally feed you, that put food on your table, the taxpayer, isn't that important? No, he's not. Hello, Sultan. It is also like the mentality that Romanians have, like the expression "I put food on your table" is the like the thing that we say to cops, to teachers, to politicians, because it's fucking true. Yeah, like so many times, you see a person that's in a altercation with a police officer here in my country, and they're like, "Shut the fuck up! I put food on your table," right? Or you have parents going to the public schools and saying literally that. But I don't think like the Americans have this mindset. Like, you do not have the mentality of I literally pay you. Like, it's not even part of the lexicon. And the thing is, right? Like, you're not going to change anything because like it's not like you're paying them out of compassion. But it does create like the mentality that no, like these people aren't our betters. Like, they're not royalty. They're not governing over you as their as if you're their subjects. Like, if you're in the United Kingdom, that's different, right? But in the United States, like, so my point is, why do people still like? It's just so fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. And even when you have like a politician that actually gives you some better way of life, like better quality of living, right? Like he reduces taxation, he allows, he reduces the crime rate, raises employment. Oh no, he's not good. Why? Because he says bad stuff on Twitter. Amawa Widaga wants to know, what is this YouTube? It's a good YouTube. I don't know. And we're talking about politics. Beijing did the exact same thing before their Olympics. Yeah, this is like, it's so disrespectful for the people that live there. I gotta say, I don't like. Regardless of gender, race, sexual orientation, like all those things. Regardless of all of them, it doesn't matter. Like, look, people want streets clean. Like, no one appreciates going out and seeing human fecal matter on the sidewalk. In no country, anywhere, people don't like that. Even in India, they have designated streets for that. They don't do it in the main street. Saying that to a cop is a good way to get a baton in the back of your ribs. I mean, I guess like it depends on what country you're from, but like police officers here don't resort to violence. They don't have to. Like, they just fine you. Unless you're being violent to them, right? And you give them a reason. But like, for bad-mouthing a cop, you're not going... Like, think about it this way, right? Like, the cop wants to have a job as well. He doesn't want the press. He doesn't want to file the paperwork. Like, do you know how many chuckleheads give attitude to the cops? Like, they probably seen it, right? So unless you're being violent to them and you're just saying words, yeah, they're going to just give you a fine, and then they fuck off, and they don't care what happens afterwards. Hello, Baba. Good morning to you as well. Since tweets don't exist anymore, do we say I left some X's on X? That sounds actually a good thing. I'm going to steal it. That sounds funny. Sorry V, the constant buffering is actually painful. Is this why I don't get people on my streams anymore? Like, if you look at this, right, I will show you, hold on. Like, it says excellent connection, right? And I think it's only for people on the phone that get the buffering stuff. Like, people who watch it from a computer don't get the buffering. Again, like, I get excellent connection, and if I just play my own video like I'm doing here, I don't get buffering. But I do understand that some people are getting it, so I don't think I'm being trolled. I think it may be a phone issue, like if you're watching me from your phone. It is sad. It is sad. I am getting sabotaged. What can I say? What I don't understand is New York City and Scat Francisco has so many cameras everywhere, but they don't enforce hardly anything. Oh, I'm pretty sure if you do some hate speech over there, if you paint something on a synagogue, or if you, do a little bit of hate speech, all of a sudden they do something about it. But if you're just committing crimes, I guess, we get to see on social media so many people committing crimes, they don't get into any problems due to it. I'm watching it on Firefox and it's fine. Yeah, I think it's people who watch it on a computer browser, they don't have the issues. Anyway, I wanted to say that I spoke with a lady today, and she works for Wall Street, and was telling me about the fact that the ESG stuff is being rebranded. So a lot of people are happy that ESG is going away, and I guess we need to have like readers added context to this. If you have like a thing which used to be for green energy, now it's like next generational energy, right? Like they're trying to rebrand the stuff. It's very interesting. Like, they notice that the public hates it. They notice that everyone is against it. So what is their solution? Oh, just change the name and keep it the same. These motherfuckers, man. Like unironically, like, how much can they hate the public? And how much disdain and disgust can they have to the consumer? It's unfucking real. Like, even when the economy is crashing, they still double down. And, The more interesting thing, like, I kept the conversation going, it was about, if you go to, like, a big bank, and you want to invest in your pension, like, for instance, if you go to JP Morgan, they will actually have to ask you if you want, I don't know what they call it, but I think it's, like, sensitive investment, right? So, like, you don't invest in oil, you don't invest in weapons, you don't invest in this and that. And I'm thinking, like, okay, but imagine just, oh, fucking hell. Like most people like myself, if I were to go there, I'll be like, no, you invest in the shit that makes me money. I don't care if it's oil. I don't care if it's nuclear weapons. I don't care if it's assault rifles. If it makes a profit, you invest it there. But apparently, like, they're forced to ask this, right? And a lot of kids, like, they don't know what the fuck they're signing, and they're like, yeah, sure, invest it in green energy and shit. Like, they are suckering an entire generation. They have to wait for 40-something to die off to finish the swamp. No, like the swamp is refueling. I mean, look at the person that... What's his name? George Soros leaves. I mean, George Soros, I think it's his son or something, right? The one that inherits the fortune. He's more radical than George Soros. Like, these individuals that are, the young ones, they're the AOCs. I mean... The entire new generation has been groomed by TikTok. I have absolutely no faith in the... Like, let me put it this way. If you actually watch TikTok, you will notice that it's far more extreme than Tumblr ever was. Like, the shit that you see on TikTok is just absolutely mind-numbing. And the reason that it exists is because the terms of service on TikTok allows it to exist. Like they have made it in a way that if I were to start a TikTok account, and I would argue with these people, I would get banned. V, you have to be prepared to lose all your money for social and societal reasons. Yeah. Can you imagine, though, like losing your money as an elderly person? Like, you can't work anymore. No one is going to hire you. Right? Let's say you're in your 50s or something, and you find out that you've lost all of your retirement fund. Jesus fucking Christ. It's just... Gen Z is dumbed down. Well, I watched a video today, right? Like, there's like this chant that leftists really like. I think it's like, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free or some shit like that, right? Like, and there's this guy, and it's asking this lady, which was signing the things, is asking her, like, what river? She doesn't fucking know. What sea? She doesn't know. And it's like, why are you chanting shit that you don't know? And the answer is because it's popular. That is the fucking answer, Chad. That is the reason why they're chanting it. They don't understand. They can't even fucking point Palestine on a map. How much do you want to bet that if you go to a pro-Palestine rally, and you have, like, you go to the white liberals, right? Because the Muslims that are at the rally may actually know. But if you go to their white liberal allies and you ask them, can you point Palestine on a map? They can't. They can't. They don't even know where the fuck it is. They will probably ask, is that a country or an organization? Like, what are we talking about? Happened to my grandfather, says. So his son used his money for cars and a house. And he went from 80,000 to barely 1,000. That's, I don't know, like that is just poor management of funds. Like, why did the son have access to his grandfather money? But at least, the house is a thing that exists, right? So you can't really say that the money was completely lost, because at any point you can theoretically sell the house. You can sell the car. But if you give your money to the bank, like you give it to BlackRock so that they can invest it, and then BlackRock squanders it, you don't even have that house or that car. Holy shit, V, here's your third California Big Mac. I love the fact that the super chats come in Big Macs. I gotta get going to the wage cage myself for coffee and lunch with my boss. Yeah, we're going to be discussing that. That's what the thumbnail is for. But no, like, unironically, a lot of people don't understand just how bad inflation has messed with people's retirement funds. Like, you're working an entire life and you're hoping that when you're old, you're going to have some money left. Well, I can see where the Canadian healthcare comes in handy, because the people that are in charge with your finances may go and have an oopsie. I mean, look at this whole thing, right? With the green energy shit. There are articles even in the leftist media. Like, if you Google them, you will find them. But they flat out say that there is not enough lithium to power the world economy, right? So like solar panels sorry, not solar panels, car batteries and batteries in general, they require lithium. If they want everyone to have an electric vehicle, there is no lithium in the world for that. I saw pro-Palestine in the United States where the protesters were shouting at the Jewish people to go home. It's not just in the United States, it's everywhere. I mean, I knew that it's everywhere because you have Kamala Harris come out and say, our problem is with Islamophobia. And I'm like, where, woman? Where did you see Islamophobia? Because I looked, I couldn't find it. Maybe in Israel, but like not in the United States, right? It's anti-Semitism that you're going to have to deal with. But the issue happens to be that most of these people do not know what they're protesting. I noticed it 100%. And I genuinely think that this may be the Bud Light event of wokeness. Like, think about it. There are so many universities which flat out allowed anti-Semitism to happen. And we're not talking about just shouting and stuff. Like there were universities where Jewish students were... They locked themselves in a room because like the protesters were coming to get them. And the statements that some university professors made, right? Now, in and of itself, like legally, there may not be repercussions legally. But a lot of these universities, they survive out of donations. Like you have very rich individuals that donate a big chunk of their money to these universities. And if these universities can't get the anti-Semitism in check, it is problematic because it's not just Jewish people that will not fund these universities, but it's also people that happen to be evangelical and they like have an affinity towards Israel. And unironically, like I was genuinely baffled to find that this is the case. But there are many right-wingers in the United States that want Israel to exist in order to fulfill the biblical prophecy. There are rich, old people in the United States who are investing based on religious ideology, right? Like, to me, it sounds funny. Like, it's just bizarre. It's like, okay, we're fulfilling the biblical prophecy because the end of the world requires it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Bring forth the rapture and whatnot. But, yeah, but like, Qatar will fund them. Qatar doesn't give that much money, by the way. It's not, I mean, they do give a chunk, but it's not that much. Oh, yeah. A man in LA was beaten to death at a rally last week. And he was Jewish, but like, that was not in a university campus. So, it's not what we're talking about. It's still fucking horrible. I mean, dude, if this happened, like, imagine if a couple of actual white supremacists did that. It would be all over the news, 24/7 coverage. You would have probably Biden try to mix up a few words in order to express just how bad things are in the United States and try to blame it on Trump somehow. But because it happened by leftists, it was mentioned in the news, sure, but quickly buried. It's fascinating. Anywhere from 6 to 35% of the United States population is evangelical. Depending how evangelical is defined. We're talking about like extreme believers. Like individuals who unironically believe, but they also take it to extreme and they want to allow their beliefs to influence policy. Right? So like incredibly rich people that are like, okay, well, I'm only going to donate to stuff that advance the belief, right? So these are the ones that we're talking about, and they vote, like again, if you generally believe the Bible, right? So like you unironically think that everything in the Bible is true. You're not like picking and choosing. You're not like thinking, oh, this is a metaphor. This is no. You unironically like believe everything in the Bible. Then you believe that the end of the world is going to happen at some point, right? So the second coming of Jesus is an event that will take place. And if that's the case, you need to look at the prophecies that bring forth the second coming of Jesus. And one of those prophecies is that the Jewish people are going to get back Israel. and that the battle between good and evil is going to happen on the fields of Armageddon. Now again, like, if that is your mindset, like you're reading that as if it's a historical truth, then yeah, you're going to make decisions and you're going to spend your money and vote in a way for these prophecies to happen. And this is why we call it a self-fulfilling prophecy. Which is like a self-fulfilling prophecy is a prophecy that's a falsehood, right? Like it doesn't happen because it was prophesized. It happens because people wanted to fulfill it. So for instance, if I prophesize that by 5 p.m. there's going to be a cup of coffee on my table, and then I do everything in my power in order to make that coffee and appear on my table, that doesn't mean that I foresaw the future or that I managed to make a prophecy. That simply means that I wielded events in order to get it to happen. Are you going to discuss Pearson saying that women can't run anything without destroying it, using universities as examples? So I haven't listened to Peterson yet, but the thing is, like, in Romania, I don't like applying stuff that contradicts my lived experiences, you know? In Romania, there are many women that are running, for example, at the University of Medicine. My grandmother, for instance, before I was born, and I think like even a little bit after she retired quite early in my life, but she hosted the microbiology section at the university. Like she was in charge. But there are like many women that are in charge of different fields of study in medicine. Same in law. But they do not have like the morality and the mentality of American women. Like Romanian women are quite significantly different in mentality than American women. So I think it may be a cultural thing. Yeah, like if you have this culture of self-entitlement and narcissism, and yeah, it's very difficult to run a business even as a man. Like if if you're not a people's person, or you are a people person but you're a narcissist, you're selfish, and so I don't know. Men are better at it on average. Look, I don't care who's good or who's bad. Give me a test, right? Like have a test. Do not have any artificial stuff like quotas based on gender. No. Just like a test. If you pass the test, you get the job, right? So like give a quiz of, I don't know, like 100 questions, and then have an interview where the person goes to the patient and tries to put the diagnosis. And out of all the candidates, the person that scores better gets in. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. If it's a man, so be it. If it's a woman, okay, I don't care. That's how it was done in Romania. Like, we didn't have affirmative action for women. We didn't have like schools that tried to coddle a specific gender or anything like that. So the women that rose to the top, like, genuinely deserve to be there. Without any feminism, without any, like, oh, let's accuse our boss of misconduct so that we can take his place. None of that shit. And yeah, it's cultural. Hiring is not blind. It depends. Like, in certain places when you hire, you for instance, like a public place, you're going to just give them a test. The names are sealed. You grade the test, and then you look at the names. There are so many ways to make sure that you hire the correct person for the job. Blaming all women for the actions of some make you no different than the woke. Like the thing that I would say is that I hate diversity quotas. Like they're obviously not profitable. Because if they were profitable, they wouldn't exist. Simple as. So any business should be able to hire whomever they want. Like if you have a black person that only wants to hire black people in their business, I'm fine with that, But of course, that's not the American way. Still, at the end of the day, like look, I'm making a video game, right? And I have like different positions that need to be filled by different people in order to make the game. Like, for instance, I have an artist that needs to draw the art, a pixel artist that draws the pixels, a coder, so on and so forth. If I were to start now hiring, like, based, okay, well, I want women. And I turn down men that are more skilled than the women that I have available, I will lose money. Like it's in my detriment to do so. On the other hand, like the lady which made the coffin of Andy and Lele. Apparently, it's just one woman that did the coding, the art, and she did the opening soundtrack. And she's now a multi-millionaire. She made $2 million from that game. Why wouldn't I hire her? If she wanted to work for me and I could afford her, why wouldn't I hire her? So that's my point, like, I judge individuals. I don't give a shit about, like, gender, race, or anything like that. As long as you can do what I require you to do, like, if you can perform the task that I need you to perform better than the other people that applied, fine, you're hired. Although, no, like, I may be a little bit racist. Like it depends. Can I use PayPal to pay you? Like, that would be a question, right? Like, if you're from a country where PayPal doesn't work, like, I'm sorry, we can't do business. I actually had a good Russian. Like, I had a good Russian. He came to me and he wanted to get a job. And he was really good at doing After Effects. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, this is good work. But how do I pay you? And he couldn't find an answer. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not hiring you. And yeah, like, in this case, I guess I wasn't hiring him because he's Russian. Because, like, no payment processor works in his country. There was no way to find a solution. But other than that, yeah, like, being racist, if you want to make money, is not profitable. And well, crypto and other shit. I don't... like, my accountant would have an aneurysm if I start using crypto. Not to mention, like, the Romanian government would probably start flagging me and looking into my business. It's like, oh my god, why are you paying crypto to the Russians? The thing is, pay him by mailing him vodka. I think he still wants to eat, though. Like, eating food is important. American Outlier. Hi V. Test a good barrier of entry. Example, a coding interview. Don't care about skin color either. You know the terms and codes, or you don't. Yeah, like, unironically, the thing is, though, and this is true for both genders, that, like, some things attract men more than women, right? Like, for instance, going in the military. Like, this is the dream of mostly men, right? Like, and not all men, obviously. Like a subsection of men. They generally want to be a soldier. Like, it's something they want to do, right? I don't know how many women want to become soldiers, but probably the percentage is far less. And this is true for most jobs. Like, when it comes to coding, from what I noticed, most men are passionate about, there are more men that are passionate about coding than women. Like, this is true. I don't think that... I would be shocked if someone shows me a statistic proving otherwise. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's something bad. It's just the way it is. Now, there are jobs where women want to partake more. Like, for example, at the University of Medicine, an astonishingly high number of women wanted to become gynecologists. Now, not all women wanted to become gynecologists, but out of the pool of people that I graduated with who did want to profess into the field of gynecology, overwhelmingly women. Does that mean that, like, there's something sexist happening at the gynecology department that keeps men away? No, it's just... same with pediatrics, right? So my point is that oftentimes, like, if you're talking about coding, if you happen to, like, have a job that requires the skill of a developer that knows how to code, chances are most of the applicants are going to be men anyway. But because of the diversity quota, you're going to have, like, 9 men applying, and you're going to have the 10th person being a woman, and you have to hire the woman to fit the quota. And that's why it's not profitable. I mean, think about it this way. If you have a job that mostly women do, like HR, that's another interesting thing. Like, why are there so many women in HR and no one complains about it? Like, the last time I looked at a study, it showed like over 70% of HR are not just women, but they're also white. In almost all the companies. To the point where, like, it's in the cultural phrase to say HR lady. And people know what you're talking about. Right? Like, no one is going to say, wait, I have an HR guy. No, it's the HR lady. And by the way, I think when it comes to HR, I genuinely think it's gatekeeping and it is sexist. I do think that with HR, like, they purposefully not hire guys. Like, it's impossible to believe that you don't have men that want to become, middle management. It's a cushy job. Why wouldn't you want to be? HR is the absolute worst department in every company. No, that's marketing. But HR is close. How do you plan to distinguish from places that hire nothing but straight white men because they happen to be the most suited applicants versus those that discriminate? But discrimination, like, requires some sort of evidence, right? Like perfect example. This happened to a friend of mine. I said it on another stream. But he was at a office party. And his name was Alexandru, which is a Romanian name, but it's very close to Alexander, right? And when he applied for the resume, I think he wrote Alex or something like that. So he got hired, and then the boss tells him, I'm so glad I hired you, because if I knew you were a guy, I wouldn't. Like, when I saw Alex, I thought that you're a woman. That is discrimination, right? Now, if you have the recording of that, like if he says that in a public place, if you have witnesses of your boss saying that, if you have any type of logs or messages, if you do that, then yeah, you can prove that they are discriminating and you can sue. Unfortunately, however, him like wanting his job and like the fact that he worked there didn't decide to sue, and not to mention, like, he's a straight white man. No one is going to defend straight white men, right? But that's how you can prove. Literally, that's how you can prove it, is the fact that that particular company, right, like a boss or a person at HR, like, does something that actually discriminates. And again, like, if you're a company that wants to, like, for example, hire only a certain race, like you only want to hire black people because you're racist, right? Eventually, you're going to have other companies that genuinely hire talent. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission in the US isn't interested in going after women or women-only dominated business. Yeah, because it's a grift. Like, that's the best example of the fact that it's a grift. If you're genuinely concerned about equality and you're genuinely concerned about equity, of course, you go after, like, all of the businesses that are male-dominated, blah, blah, blah. But you should at least try to pretend that you're going after, some of the other businesses, like, for example, HR. And you'd be like, okay, well, come on, like, you guys are supposed to set an example. You guys are, the funny thing is, like, when someone actually goes after these businesses, oh my god, the crying from the left is hysterical. Recently, there was this voice actor, I don't even know his name, but he was, like, doing all these sorts of rants and all these sorts of things that, no, like, as a voice actor, we need to hire for authenticity. If you have an Asian person, it needs to be voiced by an Asian. Basically demanding that voice actors be treated like real actors. And when he was told, it's like, okay, but we're doing authenticity, so, like, you can't play the role of white characters. You can only play Asian characters. He freaked out. He's like, oh, so how am I going to get a job? Blah, 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 blah. And he was also like, oh, so, like, just because I'm Asian, do you think, like, all Asians are alike? Do you think that South Koreans are the same as Japanese people and the same as Chinese? And I wanted to say, oh, so now you want based on ethnicity. Oh, I see. Well, then this role is clearly not for you because, my bad, you're an American, that's Asian. So unless the character is an Asian American, you're not going to be able to voice it. Pro ZD. Fucking hell. Is Yang Yi the same? Like the thing with Yang Yi, I haven't looked at the controversy. Except the fact that I knew his voice acting is absolutely atrocious. Like, I saw a couple of clips. But, is he also that opinionated? Unironically, I am so glad that these individuals are having their comeuppance. I'm not even going to lie. It's like, if you advocate for this shit, when the shit starts going against you, like, that's good. And they will always say something, oh, but there's just so few, there's so few, Asian roles in video games and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, you should have thought about that before. But secondly, yeah, there are few, but like, think about it this way. When there is one, you don't have that much competition. There aren't that many voice actors that are Asian Americans, right? But if you're a white guy, I mean, you're competing with a lot more people for that voice role. If you want to have, like, segregation in voice acting, which is the most bizarre shit that you brought up, like, no one else from the audience cared. I personally like Kratos being voiced by Christopher Judge. I think that's an excellent casting choice. But if you're going to go out of your way to try to persuade me otherwise, and say, like, no, actually, the voice needs to resonate with the ethnicity of the character. Why? I don't fucking know, but it does. Well, you wanted the segregation, now you deal with it. Young E is one of the people who shilled for Cyberpunk, even though he knew it was broken before release. I am generally curious, what the fuck does Young E have on the entertainment industry? Like, there must be some higher-ups that he has dirt on, because, like, I don't understand. He does this thing where it's obvious that he can't voice act, you know, for shit, because I listened to the clips. Like, I'm sorry. You know, I listened with an open mind. I do not know who Youngie is. I don't know anything. I just listened to the clips that he played, and they sounded awful. And yet he's getting another role now. And I'm like, okay, no, this is not fucking possible. Like how? How can you... Yeah, he's not voice acting. He is doing what is called a cold reading. Like he's just reading the lines. I like some of ProZD skits in the past. Sad to find out that he's a racist. I don't even think that he is a racist. I think that there are individuals that are trying to leverage woke ideology to benefit them, right? So they're not really interested, like they don't think white people are evil. They're not interested in the culture where they're like, oh, I can use this argument in order to get a job. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm going to use this argument, right? And you get a standing ovation from your peers, and everyone thinks you're the great. But the problem is that by doing this, you are creating a problem for yourself down the line. Because the moment you say, oh, we need authenticity, right? So, like, the genetics and the voice need to match. Okay, you can say that, but, like, at the moment people start going, like, okay, well, you can't play white characters now. Don't go Pikachu face. You did this to yourself. He's an opportunist. Yes, exactly. I didn't leverage woke shite when I was working in film. It is stupid that it hurts production. Well, yeah, it's true, but like... Okay, I said this before, there are talented actors, and then there are woke people. I mean, look at Morgan Freeman. Is Morgan Freeman going around with woke shit, you know, talking about identity politics and stuff? No, he shuts the fuck up. I would say that even Will Smith. Even Will Smith shuts the fuck up. You know, say what you want about Will Smith. I actually like his acting. Yes, I know, he's the only man on earth that manages to slap a comedian and then he starts pissing his eyes and crying while the comedian is laughing. Like, I don't think I ever seen another event like this where you get to sucker punch someone, the person is still standing up, he's laughing, and you're crying. Like, do you guys remember the slap? Like, was the only times that the Oscars managed to get a rating boost. So anyway, right, like Chris Rock is laughing. He's the one getting slapped, by the way. Chris Rock is laughing. Will Smith is crying. But my point is, you know, Will Smith can act. And you don't see him talk about woke shit. Genuine actors that can act. Shut the fuck up. Meanwhile, you have Rachel Ziegler, or you have what's her name, Watson, and they're so fucking opinionated. My fucking god, Brie Larson as well. Holy shit! I mean, the level of opinions they have. They have an opinion about everything. There's nothing that they don't have an opinion on. And then when you look at them, boring, bland. I remember seeing Hermione in Beauty and the Beast. I think she has like 3 emotions. Resting bitch face, surprise face, and semi-serious face. That's it. That's her acting limits. That's all she's got. Those are her abilities. But my god, does she have opinions on everything. Holy shit. Am I not right though? It's like LOLV. It's true, isn't it? The whole thing with her, you know, like she's a child actress. So like you watch Harry Potter and she was there and she was, you know, wholesome because as a kid she was. But then she grows up and she starts going to the UN saying why men are bad and why men are awful, etc., right? Then she starts complaining about, oh, how difficult it is to be a star, oh, how difficult it is to be a millionaire. It's like, okay, you know, fine, and then she can't act. I mean, the only role that she can do is Hermione. That's the thing, right? But the problem is like that there are actors and then there are names. The thing is like she's not an actor; she's a name. Will Smith has enough talent and money to not deserve our sympathies. He can live that. I don't have sympathies for him. Like, I didn't say anything. I'm indifferent. I don't have sympathies, nor do I hate the man. It's like, oh, it happened. I see. Well, that's a bad decision. Like, what else can I say? You know? But, that doesn't change the fact that he's a good actor. He did try to get his son into acting, Jaden, right? Like, he did actually have a movie which, surprisingly, I liked, but many people didn't. And it was an original movie as well. The one where, they're ghosts, I believe it was called. Like, Earth is being attacked by these alien creatures that can sense emotions. Like, they're blind, but they can sense emotions. And if you don't have any emotion, then they can't sense you. And the people who can turn off their emotions, they become ghosts. Many people didn't like that movie. I personally did. I guarantee to you, if it came out today, holy shit, it would actually sell. Not because the movie is different, but because like everything else is shit. But like a lot of people didn't like it. That was the movie where he tried, like Will Smith tried to give some of his stardom to his son and didn't manage to. Yeah, it was a good movie. I think that it was an okay movie. It wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing either. But if it came out today, I guarantee to you it would make waves. Like everything that comes out today is a sequel, a prequel, or a reimagining. So basically just the fact that that movie would come out and it's original, you would manage to make quite a bit of cash. All right, let me talk about something else that's happening, and this is interesting. While telling people to stay home and stay safe, it did end up causing quite a bit of a pickle for some companies, because, you know, during the pandemic, people were told it's like work from home. Turns out that some people actually enjoy working from home, others not so much. I guess like it depends on certain things. Like number one, the discipline that people have. Working from home means that you need to be very disciplined. You need to go to sleep on time, wake up on time so that you can do your assignments. If you don't do that, you're going to have problems by not being able to complete your work on time. Thank you, JDA79, for the membership. But anyway, right, so like some people had difficulty, other people had an amazing time. Other people had hell on earth. Like if you happen to have like 3 or 4 kids and a wife that do not understand that you're working and they think, oh, you're home, that means you're available, go take the trash, go do this, go fix the pipe, go blah, blah, blah. Yeah, for those people it may be difficult. But like it turns out that a lot of people were happy working from home, right? And they don't want to come back to the office. And unironically, some jobs literally do not require you to be at an office. So, many people did not want to come back. And this is a huge problem for middle management. Like, middle management is this thing that is like a parasite on a company, demanding a lot of cash. And all they do is to try and micromanage people. There is a reason why the entertainment industry is failing, and that is the fact that it's bloated with middle management. As Elon Musk actually pointed out, there are usually like 4 or 5 people that are supervising one person that's working. This is the absolute state. I've been told about this from a Ubisoft developer, from a Blizzard developer. Like, this is the case in many companies. You have one coder, and then you have like 3 or 4 people that are trying to supervise him. Yeah, so Elon Musk also wants people to return to the office, but there's the other issue, right? So, like, first of all, middle management is upset, right? And they're advocating for this. But then is the property values as well. Like, the property values are just plummeting because, like, there's a lot of companies that spent money and invested into real estate in order to buy offices that now they're not using. But that's not the only issue. Like, there are people that bought offices to rent for companies, right? So like the entire market is crashing because businesses do not need office space anymore. So imagine this, night motorcyclist. Imagine this. Let's say you have like $500,000 to invest. And you buy like a apartment office. Actually, hold on, you're in America, so America is more expensive. Like $3 million. And you buy like this apartment office, and you're thinking like, okay, well, I'm going to rent it. So you buy it for $3 million. Companies do not use offices, so the price drops dramatically. Now it's $1 million, and you can't rent it to anyone. Like you just lost $2 million. I mean, it's colossal. It's staggering. Not to mention, it's not even the renters, right? Like, it's people that want to make an investment. It's like so this is like, again, something that I don't understand with Americans that boggles my brain. You go like, no, not the renters. So what do they need to do? Like, if you have money and you want to invest, what do you do? Do you put it in BlackRock? Is that, because like that's an option, right? But when someone decides, yeah, I don't trust the government. Like, I got money, I want to invest in something. What can I invest it in? Well, you can just buy an apartment and rent it to other people. But Americans treat this like it's unholy, like it's an act of great evil and harm. And not to mention, people still need offices. Now you're wondering like how it's your problem. Well, it's not your problem, but it's the company's problems, right? So like they're freaking out about it, and they're trying to like get employees to come back. But what? And they're trying their hardest to like slowly do it. And in a way, to me, it's hilarious because like the same companies were like, stay at home, stay safe, stay at home, mask up, stay at home, stay safe. They did it to themselves. Like the corporate environment was the strongest advocate for the pandemic policies. They were the number one leaders, like the champion, the spearhead in enforcing compliance. So it's like, stay at home, stay safe, stay at home. Why aren't you coming for work? Oh my God, come for work, please. I rarely get anything done in the office other than FaceTime with middle management. Oh my fucking God, it's so awful. Like, especially the mentally challenged companies. Like there are corporations in the United States that are ran like kindergartners. I'm not kidding. Like, maybe I should make a video where I take some pictures and ask you guys, is this a kindergarten or a corporate office? I guarantee to you, like 9 out of 10 times you won't be able to tell. So you have like these places that encourage, oh, when we're here, we work hard and we party hard. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I have a family. Just leave me alone. I came here, let me do my job so I can fuck off. No. They fire at you with Nerf guns, chat. They fire at you with fucking Nerf guns. So, like, no, seriously, like, imagine this. You're trying to work, you're coding or whatever, and some idiot from the other side of the office fires a Nerf gun at you. Hey, oopsie, I wanted to hit Samantha over there. It's like, what the fuck? When they start calling them pet names. Like Twitter was calling their companies Twiddlers. My personal favorite is when they say the corporate family. Like, fuck off. The corporate family. You're not my mommy. You're not my daddy. Like, I have a family at home. Like, the very idea that we're a corporate family. Okay, so let me get this straight. If I get fired, are we still part of the same family? No, of course not. They give you the middle finger. Twits, yeah. The absolute state, yes. Twits, fucking huh. But no, right? You gotta go to work. You gotta go to work. Sit in the open office. Can you imagine, like, if you have like some low-level autism? No, unironically, there are people who suffer from it, right? It's not that I'm turning my channel into a social justice channel and say how much I feel. No, but it's true, right? Like, there are some people that suffer from autism. And they have like this sensory overload shit. Like they literally can't work if you overload their sensors. So like if they hear like a pin drop on the ground, it distracts them, right? Like those individuals we're talking about. So now you're sitting in an open office, and John goes to the kitchen and makes a sandwich, and now it stinks. How do you think he's going to concentrate? He's not going to concentrate. Everyone makes noise. Everyone does all this shit. I guarantee to you, you take that autistic person, you put them at home, and they work just fine. You put them in the office, and it's literally hell for them. Not to mention that even the cubicles were good. Like, people thought that cubicles are hell. Cubicles actually gave you some sort of privacy. But no, you got the open office. Do you know why they have open offices, by the way? It's not just to cut costs. Because there are some rich companies that could afford to give cubicles. Like, cubicles aren't that expensive. No, the reason they have open offices is, first of all, to make sure that you're not doing anything that's not work-related. Like if you're browsing Google or whatever, your colleague is going to rat on you. But secondly, it's to encourage you to stay at work, right? Like if you see that it's 4 p.m. and you should go home, because that's how much you're paid. You're paid for 8-hour work. You should go home. If other people stay, you feel pressured to stay as well. God, I really hated being a wage slave, right? You know, like a lot of people say, get a real job and shit. Man, like, a real job, it means wage slavery. Like the thing that I hated the most is when I would go to the hospital, and I was at the microbiology department. I was finishing my job in 3 hours, chat. Like, literally, because I was focused on doing what needs to be done, right? Like, I wouldn't talk to anyone. I wouldn't do anything. I was just, like, laser focused, get the shit done. I wasn't doing it like a 10 out of 10 job, because I was still learning. I think, like, usually, you know, maybe I would have, like, 1 or 2 mistakes that I could correct. But overwhelmingly, like, 3 hours. I was surrounded by my colleagues, mostly women, by the way, speaking of overrepresentation. I don't know why, though. Like when you go to the lab, it's predominantly female. Maybe it's different in the United States. But they would start to listen to music, gossip, talk to each other, right? I didn't care, right? Like, it's not my job to supervise them. It wasn't my job to... But the thing that really pissed me off is that I finish everything, right? And then I'm like... And the boss comes in, and it's like, why aren't you working when everyone else is? And I'm like, well, because I finished. And then I'm told by a colleague, you need to act busy. And I'm like, what the fuck does act busy even mean? And then I realized what the issue was. The issue, like the reason they were gossiping and they were listening to music and all that shit, is because they had to act fucking busy. Like, literally, like, by the way you behave with employees is the way you're going to get them behave to you, right? So like, people like me, which finished everything in 3 hours, were actually being, we're actually being told off because we're not acting busy. I like tech because the mobility to work anywhere with the internet, but I worked Disney as a data admin. Mid-management got our nerves because they use pronouns. That's another thing, you know? It's like, oh, this bullshit with the pronouns and stuff. How did companies manage to function for decades? Well, centuries, actually, without the use of fucking pronouns. Dude, like, pronouns are now even in the military. In the fucking chair force, chat. In the chair force, right? Like, I saw this thing from the aviation where it's like, this is how you use pronouns. And it's like, oh, fucking hell. It's like, am I in the Air Force or am I on Tumblr? See, the thing with act busy is a problem that exists worldwide. Like it's not something that exists in Romania. It's everywhere. It's just... I don't know. You know, I guess the stereotype of the person playing solitaire while on the pay doesn't look good. But if the person has time to play solitaire, then you're a bad boss. Like, you don't know how to accurately give your employees enough work so that, you know, like here's the thing. If I come to work for you, I'm being paid for 8 hours of labor, right? It's your job to make sure that I have enough work for those 8 hours. And don't give me work for 10, don't give me work for 6. Try to give me for 8. That's how it should work. But no, it's... Middle management, busy, looking busy, making up new bullshit to screw us. Well, the thing with middle management as well, it's like, what the fuck do they do all day? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, it's... diversity officers have it the best. Like, they're paid an obscene amount. And all they do is, like, write a letter or host a seminar, and that's their job. And then they go drink wine with the marketing lady. I was actually told by a Blizzard employee that that's what they were doing. It's like, everyone was, like, working hard to finish a patch for a game, and they were going to have fun at Walt Disney with the marketing team. And it's like, oh my fucking god, man. It really sets the mood bad as well, right? Like, if I'm sitting there and I'm working, and I see my boss going to have fun, it's... makes you feel insignificant, doesn't it? Like, why would you want your employees to feel like that? Don't you want them to feel valued? Something else that I wanted to say. Because now, again, like, since I'm in the video game industry, I know how a lot of these things work. You can make a AAA game with 30 developers. Like maybe the entire team can have 40 or 50 people. And you can make a AAA game. The only problem, like, making a AAA game is it's very expensive. Like, you need the funding. But as long as you have the assets and you have, like, the people capable, you do not need more than 30 to 50 people. And then you look at Ubisoft and you look at all these other AAA companies and they have thousands of developers. Like, what the fuck are you doing with thousands of developers? It's no fucking way. Like, that is a waste. I have a friend who works at diversity, exclusivity, and inequality, and all he can do is complain about being white. Oh my fucking god. Triple K gamer. Oh my god. This is how I need to call them. Instead of AAA, I need to call them Triple K games. In the modern company, you need 30 people to make the game and 900 people to manage them. Yes, it's literally that. I genuinely think... I mean, for fuck's sake, they have proofreaders, chat. Like, they hire companies that are playing your game and reading the story to make sure that nothing is offensive. And what do they do? Like, I remember there was this game that... oh my god, like, these upstarting companies are the worst. Like, they try to sniff out racismus, right? So, like... when you start one of these companies that do proofreading, it reminds me of a video game that was starting to become popular. Like, I don't know what happened to it. I think it's out of development. May or may not have been a success. But the video game had you playing as Europeans trying to colonize the New World, right? No, actually, no. You were playing as the settlers fighting off the Europeans. So it was like a Native American type of thing. They're accused of racism or cultural appropriation. Sorry, they're accused of cultural appropriation on Discord. And when they look into it, and there was like a significant push, right? And when they look into it, like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, there was like this company that wanted them to be hired to do the Native American thing to make sure that it's authentic. They're like, well, fuck off. It's a video game. Of course it's not authentic. The fuck are you talking about? We're not even striving for that. It's just, yeah, like Sweet Baby is one of them, but there are so many. Like, people only know about Sweet Baby. I don't know why they found out about it this year. Like, it's been on 4chan for like 3 years now. I guess like one post went viral. Like, where more games turned to shit that people started noticing. But Sweet Baby is not the worst. There are far more. Oh yeah, This Land Is My Land. That's what it was called. Yeah. So like you had this chuckle fuck coming out. It's like, oh yeah, pay me thousands of dollars so I can make sure that the Indians you're depicting there are depicted accurately and respectfully. I said, fuck off. It's a video game, fiction, make believe. The fuck are you talking about? I'm not running a museum. I'm not trying to hire archaeologists to make sure that I understand it. No, it's a video game. Jesus. Yeah, they were hunted by the diversity commissars, literally, on Twitter. The thing is, like, this is what the diversity commissars do, right? Like, they want to start companies. They want to get together and start companies like My Sweet Baby. But in order to get there, they need to have, like, some sort of resume. And in order to get that resume, like, who the fuck hires them? No one hires that unless you're a AAA company. No one has money for that shit. And not to mention, everyone knows that it's not good for business. So what they do is they start hounding independent game developers that they think is successful, trying to get enough people to accuse them of racism in the hopes that they eventually will get hired. Luckily, this grift hasn't worked, as far as I know. Anita Sarkeesian herself tried it with CD Projekt Red. Columbus Day is also known as Indigenous People Day. I don't fucking care what it is, as long as you get 1 day for free. I do say, you know, like, I do agree that Christopher Columbus was a piece of shit. But you know what? So was Karl Marx, and no one is complaining about him. What is it? May Day, right? That's another one that is... Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Workers' Day. Have you ever heard about it? Like, it's a big celebration. You get a 1 day off. It's kind of cool. But it was started by communists. Like, when the United States started getting immigrants from the worst place on earth, Germany, they got a lot of German, and among the Germans can't help themselves. They need to start socialism. I don't fucking know why, but if you put a lot of Germans together, they start socialism. So they did that in the United States. Like, you had like actual newspaper publications in German so that Americans couldn't read it, and they were advocating for workers' unions, protests, and all that type of shit. So the workers start a protest, and it was peaceful, right? So the anarchists go, and they throw bombs into the police line. I mean, hold on, it's called the Heyday Massacre. They don't teach you that in school. You know, like, it's quite unfortunate that they don't really teach history, but like, this is not a conspiracy theory that I'm telling you. Like, this is on Wikipedia, right? Like, it's documented. Even the leftists agree that it happened, right? So it's in 1886. And back then, you know, the cops wouldn't fuck around. Like, they didn't have water cannons. They didn't have tear gas. They had bullets. Like, back in 1886, yeah, like things were very violent. If you have, like, a mob of people... and you wanted them dispersed, like, this is what the cops would do. They didn't have, like, any other way. So, the protest was peaceful, right? But, like, a couple of anarcho-communists, they go into the protest, they throw a bomb into the police line, so the police line opens fire and murders the workers. And it's called the Heyday Massacre. And of course, you know, they... I mean, look at this shit, right? This is how the press looked like. It was in German. Mass meeting, right, tonight. Massenverhamschlung. Heute Abend auf 8 Uhr. Und dem I don't really understand the font, because otherwise I can read German, but it's the font that's the problem. But basically it says, working men, arm yourselves and appear in full force. You know, like that type of shit. eventually, like, they find out who did it. All of them were Germans. All of them were communists. I think, like, they got hanging as a punishment, and a couple of them actually escaped. But after this, right, like, after this event, the United Nations and many other places I think it was the United Nations. Let me check. Yeah, it was the United Nations. There's basically saying that this was a massacre against the workers. They don't mention that the communists started it, of course. They're leaving that part out. And we're celebrating Workers' Rights Day. Yes, in commemoration of this shit. Women's Day as well. It has communist roots, by the way. But like, you're not going to find any criticism about this. No, Columbus Day is the issue. Yes, like, let me tell you about Columbus Day. Columbus Day is so horrible. So, Oh yeah, Columbus. There is not a single communist that's being criticized or offensive. Che Guevara. Do you know what Che Guevara did? Let me show you what Che Guevara did. And you have LGBT people having the shirt. I mean, you probably know this gentleman. There's no fucking way like you don't know him. Like, you see him on the shirt of LGBT activists everywhere. I don't know why they are so... Like, maybe they know what his stance on gay people were, so they're wearing his shirt in order to mock his image. I mean, that would make sense. But look here, right? Let me read you a story from Che Guevara, just so you can understand the mind of this man, right? So, during an interview in Algeria, Guevara noticed a book by openly gay Cuban writer Virgilio Pinera that was sitting on the table next to him. When he noticed the book, he threw it against the wall and yelled, "How dare you have in our embassy a book by this foul?" And chat, I don't think I can read this word because, hold on. I guess like Che Guevara, Mr. Guevara was probably an avid Xbox player. But like, again, I do not know what this word is. Like, when he noticed the book, threw it against the wall, "How dare you have in our embassy a book by this foul?" It's got 3 references, right? So like, it's got from the Oxford University Press. It's got from Chicago, the Haymarket Books, and the Duke University, right? So like, there's three mentions, or like source to make sure that editors don't remove it. But this is the man that every single American activist that I see must have worn his shirt at least one point in their life. It's so fucking bizarre, chat. I genuinely do not understand it. But like, it's not just Che Guevara. Literally every single socialist, with very few exceptions, I mean socialist thinkers or ideologues, were raging homophobic bigots. All of them. I mean, look at it this way. Every single nation, besides East Germany, right? But every single nation besides East Germany that had socialism in it criminalized homosexuality. Like we're not talking about, not allowing for activists. No. If they found you sucking cock, they would put you in prison. This was the law in Romania. This was the law in Russia. This was the law in every single socialist country throughout the earth, except for East Germany. I don't know how they managed though. Like, but the thing is, today, like, you may say that they're ignorant, that they do not know. But you look at today, the people that, like, gays for Palestine, to me it makes no sense. Have you ever been there? No, like, do you not know what happens to gay people in Palestine? Do you think, like, the support is equal? Like, do you think it's a two-way street? When they made Juneteenth, which only celebrates in Texas federal holiday, Democrats further divided ethnic relations. So there are 2 days of independence, not one. No, well, I'm pretty sure, like, But that's the thing, right? Like when everyone is super, no one is. Like if they make like 5 more Independence Days, then well, Independence Day doesn't mean anything. So. Anyway, I'll end it here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope it was entertaining. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know at which hour. We'll see. We'll play Russian roulette with the time zones. Take care.